break out the cold beverages. It's time to fire up the grill. It is the 4th of July weekend, and it's Saturday! You know what that means? We're live! Ladies and gentlemen, I am the one and only DJ Storms, and I would like to welcome each and every single one of you back here to the channel on YouTube.com. As of course, you already know who I am, Mr. Controversy, and the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known. Wait for it. Wait for it. To mankind! This is the official Lightning Flash update for Saturday, July 3rd, 2021. No kick out. I ain't gonna have no stroke because I'm full of energy. Nothing can kill me because I'm DJ Storms and I'm a legend. And legends never die. They just get better. We got Kick Out, we got DD, we got Cool King, we got Furious Nation. How are all of you doing today on this fine Saturday? Happy 4th of July weekend to everyone. Just needed a little drink right there. I ain't gonna have a stroke, but let me tell you something. I sure as hell run out of breath pretty quickly. But let me tell you something. I am full of energy no matter what. I thank each and every single one of you for joining me here on the channel. I greatly appreciate all of you. We got a great show. What's going on? Nathan Curse, Adam, Carl, how you doing? There we go. That's what I like to see. Keep on rolling in those likes. We got Peanuts. We got Hibiki. Hibiki with the Lex Luger comment. Oh my God, Lex Luger. He's a very, very, very interesting individual, isn't he? Happy 4th of July, everyone. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. I'm doing pretty good, Cool King, hanging in there. Doing what I can. Job search going well. Brand work, obviously, is at the top of its game. I mean, come on. Anything I do is at the top of its game. But anything. Anyway. We got a lot of material to talk about tonight. We got Money in the Bank coming up this month. Also, a couple of announcements, actually. I am going to be doing a live sit-down interview with House of Entertainment. House of Entertainment, he's been here a few times here and there. He's in the chat sometime, and I'm going to be doing a sit-down interview with him. That's going to be next Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, live before SmackDown. SmackDown goes on the air. But that's just a brand announcement. I actually want to make a little bit of a more serious announcement. A lot of you were notified on Wednesday about my friend Jenny. She is going through a rough patch right now. She is not doing well mentally, and she does not have the credentials to financially support herself. Not the credentials. She does not have the ability to financially support herself right now. She needs to find a means of transportation to get to her therapy meetings. She needs the money to get her certain medications. So if you didn't already know, she started a GoFundMe page. The GoFundMe page is in the link of the description. Please, if you can, go and donate to her. But if you can't, at least just share it out. Get as many people notified about her as possible. If you can, I greatly appreciate it. So the link is in the description. For more information, click the link and read the whole entire story about why she cannot financially support herself right now. thank you for your thoughts and prayers as well. I greatly appreciate it. I hope you're doing well as well, Rob. But if you can, just go check out the link in the description if you can. If you can't donate, just share it out as much as you possibly can. I would greatly appreciate it. She would greatly appreciate it. And I know she's watching. But before we get into the news, rumors, and reports, a couple of advertisements, self-brand promotions. Obviously, if you do not already follow me on the Twitter sticks, please make sure you follow me on the Twitter sticks. Of course, my Twitter is at HistoryMakerDJS. You'll find out why I am the operator of the best damn Twitter handle known to mankind. So that link is in the description, as well as the link to my Instagram. My Instagram is, of course, the DJ Storms. Go follow me there. Add me on Facebook for collaborations and business inquiries. Please send me an email. My email is, of course, StormsTakeOver@gmail.com. Like the official DJ Storms business page, and I may just send you an invite to join the official DJ Storms Posse group on Facebook. All the links are in the description if you want to go check that out. Be sure, if you haven't already done so, to hit that like button. We are about 7 minutes into the stream. Earl Cole just showed up. How you doing? We are about 7 minutes into the stream. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit the like button. We got goals to reach. We got a goal of 30 likes to reach. That is the normal goal for each and every single video here. It's 30 likes. So far, we got 9. If we can get some more, I greatly appreciate it. But in order for us to gain as many likes as possible, I'm going to need y'all to obviously hit the like button and then share out the stream. That's right. You got to share out that stream on all platforms on social media, whether it be Twitter or Instagram, Facebook, Tumblr, Pinterest, whatever it may be. Make sure you share it out. I know Dee Dee, she's already shared it out. Rob Wells Jr., he's already shared it out. Anyone else, I'm going to need y'all to share it out. Of course, Mr. Earl Cole, he is an official admin on the DJ Storms Posse page. He is fantastic at what he does. Please make sure you share it out. All platforms, social media. That way we can get as many people in here as possible. I'm talking about your mothers, your fathers, your brothers, your sisters, your sons, your daughters, aunts, uncles, grandparents, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th cousins twice removed, your dogs, your cats, and especially your guinea pigs. Because I'm telling you, man, my laptop's running slow right now because I got so many articles lodged up in my laptop saying that if guinea pigs are exposed to DJ Storms, they are said to live long, happy, healthy, fruitful lives. I'm telling you, you guys want to get your guinea pigs in here. It is vital, people. It is absolutely vital. Of course, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so, and hit that notifications bell with a huge coup de grace. That way you will know whenever I pop up on YouTube. Because whenever I pop up on YouTube, it is, of course, the best time to be on YouTube. It is the only time you're going to get to see this glorious sideburn chin strap combination with this beautiful mustache. Hey, Earl Cole, you know what time it is. You know what time it is. What time is it? Oh, it's time. It's time. It's time for the magic comb. And it's time for a little with a little pinch of and a dash of You know, like Campbell's soup. You might as well start calling me Campbell's soup, because I'm so good. Everybody wants a piece of the Storms Meister. Everybody. You already know the drill. Anyway. Enough of the self-brand promotion and the advertisements. We are going to get straight into the news, rumors, and reports. We got 9 likes so far. Keep on sharing the stream out. Get as many people in here as possible. We got a loaded, and I mean a loaded show. So, we are going to start off with the news, rumors, and reports. We got Ryan Satin. I know that that name makes people's skin crawl. I know, I don't like him either. I do not like him either, but he is in the news today because he interviewed Samoa Joe on his Out of Character podcast. Ryan Satin's Out of Character podcast saw Samoa Joe as a guest when Samoa Joe discussed how Triple H was all for hiring him back, and only a few hours after being released by Vince, he got the call from Triple H, and he also said he's working towards an in-ring return. When asked about the question, Samoa Joe stated, and I quote, "Absolutely, we'll just say yes and leave it at that." So, he's still working towards an in-ring return, but at the same point in time, he kind of sounded a little about it. Not really sure what's going on right there, but I really hope to God that Samoa Joe's in-ring career is not over, because Samoa Joe, he is an excellent in-ring performer. He is fantastic whenever he gets the opportunity to work with the correct amount of talent. And let me tell you something. I would absolutely love to see some Samoa Joe matches in NXT. Samoa Joe versus Adam Cole, Samoa Joe versus Johnny Gargano, Samoa Joe versus Pete Dunne, Samoa Joe versus Karrion Kross, Samoa Joe versus Walter if you want to take him to the UK. You got a lot of options with Samoa Joe, but for right now, I'm enjoying what Samoa Joe is doing as the enforcer of NXT, but I really do want to see Samoa Joe in a wrestling role somewhere down the line, and I really do hope that he does return to the ring sooner rather than later. My next report comes from PW Insider. PW Insider reported that Scarlett Bordeaux and Shotzi Blackheart were backstage at Raw this week to work main event tapings. Now, I'm not sure if that was the case, because like Karrion Kross and how his main event appearance made the rounds on Twitter, I have not seen Shotzi Blackheart or Scarlett and their appearance make the rounds on Twitter. I have not seen it whatsoever. I'm not sure if they were truthfully on main event, and to be quite honest, I'm not going to go out on Hulu and watch that shit, because I don't give a shit about Hulu. Hulu's a complete waste of time anyway, and who the fuck watches main event? But if Scarlett is legitimately being broken away from Karrion Kross, this is a Rusev-Lana situation all over again. Scarlett is not a woman who should be wrestling in the ring. She is just like Zelina Vega, which we'll get into later on. Trust me on that. I got a lot of shit to say about Zelina Vega, so stick around until the SmackDown portion of the review. You're going to want to hear my little rant on Zelina Vega. I'm going to tear that little petite woman a new asshole. But as far as Scarlett goes, there's no reason for her to be broken away from Karrion Kross. There's no reason for her to be portrayed in a role of her own. She enhances Karrion Kross. She adds to Karrion Kross and the presentation that he has. Karrion Kross, is he going to be booked well away from Scarlett? Yeah, probably. I mean, look at what Miro's doing on AEW. I would be shocked if Karrion Kross is not booked like a legit killer, but that doesn't mean that he's going to feel special. He's not going to feel special. He feels just like everyone else, because they stripped everything away from him outside of his wrestling ability. They stripped away his cool entrance with the lights and the fog and Scarlett and the movement and the theatrics. They stripped all that away. I don't even fucking know why. And it's just so fucking confusing to me and very, very frustrating, because how do they expect anyone to be looked in the same light as a Roman Reigns or a Randy Orton or a John Cena or a Brock Lesnar or an Edge or a Seth Rollins or a Drew McIntyre? How do they expect anyone to be on that level if they completely strip everything away and or change everything about said NXT talent when they get called up to the main roster? Why does NXT even exist if you're just going to take and just completely change everything? Triple H is giving you everything that you need to succeed with said superstar on the main roster. He's giving you everything you need on a silver platter. He's spoon-feeding you, and you're taking it, and you're adding all of this unnecessary shit, or you're completely changing this shit. It's like a famous fucking baker. It's like a professional baker baking a fucking cake, and some fucking amateur wants to come in and just change everything about the recipe, change the type of frosting, or change the toppings. Meanwhile, the cake is just as good as it is. I don't fucking get it. Scarlett is not going to succeed in the role that WWE wants her to succeed in. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Scarlett gets released just like Lana got released. Shotzi Blackheart, you can make a case that Shotzi Blackheart hasn't even gotten started in NXT. You can make a case that Shotzi Blackheart hasn't even gotten started, and Shotzi Blackheart could very well be the one to take the NXT Women's title off of Raquel Gonzalez when the time is right. Now, granted, the women's divisions need desperate help, but Shotzi Blackheart ain't the fucking answer. You're going to need more than just Shotzi Blackheart to improve a depleted division on both shows. Shotzi Blackheart, how do you expect her to succeed if Ruby Riott never succeeded? Ruby Riott was never given a proper opportunity, and Rhea Ripley has been stripped of everything that made her must-see, and she has been booked into a black fucking hole on Monday Night Raw if Rhea Ripley didn't succeed, if Ruby Riott didn't succeed. How do you expect Shotzi Blackheart to succeed? What do you think WWE is going to see in Shotzi Blackheart that they didn't see in Ruby Riott or Rhea Ripley? All three women are virtually the same exact person. The only difference is two of them have more tattoos than the other. Shotzi and Ruby have more tattoos than Rhea Ripley. And the only difference between Shotzi and the other two is that Shotzi has green hair, Rhea Ripley has blonde hair, and Ruby Riott has black hair. They're all essentially the same person. So how do you expect Shotzi Blackheart to succeed if Ruby Riott and Rhea Ripley didn't succeed? Shotzi Blackheart is as good as dead. I guarantee you Shotzi Blackheart receives the same treatment that Ember Moon received in her first round with the WWE on the main roster. Ember Moon, she was on the main roster. She didn't get a championship opportunity until 17 months after her debut. Really? You had the women on your roster for all that time and you didn't give her a fucking opportunity for 17 fucking months? And when you did, you shafted that match, and that match didn't even go 11 fucking minutes at SummerSlam with Bayley. Poorly fucking booked. Poor fucking booking. That's where Shotzi Blackheart's going to head. Into the land of poor fucking booking, whether she's on Raw or whether she's on SmackDown. I get a report from Fightful, and I really don't know what to make out of this. And I'm not sure what this is leading to. I'm not sure how they're going to introduce this gimmick. I'm not sure what to expect in the near future as far as this superstar goes, but according to a report from Fightful Select, WWE has filed a trademark for the name Happy Corbin. I did not stutter. You did not mishear me. The stream did not glitch out. Happy Corbin. 1 second. Now, again, like I said, I don't know how this gimmick is going to be introduced. I don't know what to expect from Baron Corbin in the future. And I don't know what is to come of this, but we got Nikki Cross running around like the Hurricane. Alexa Bliss is possessed by a hypnotic demon. I wouldn't be surprised if in the next month You see Baron Corbin carrying around golf clubs saying he's going to beat Shooter McGavin at a golfing tournament and save his grandmother from being evicted from her house. You're going to die, clown! Corbin. Chubbs, you took his hand, Corbin. I mean, do I need to say anything else? There's nothing really more to say. I won't be fucking surprised at all. Would not be fucking surprised at all. The price is wrong, bitch, Corbin. It's all in the hips. It's all in the hips, Corbin. As soon as that report came out, I saw all the fucking Happy Gilmore jokes going around Twitter. You knew I was going to have a field day with that one. Happy Corbin. And you expect Baron Corbin to be taken as a babyface when his name's going to be Happy Corbin. You got Nikki Ash, almost a superhero. You got Alexa Bliss, The Evil Is Mine. You got Happy Corbin. I don't know what the fuck is next. It's literally fucking Sesame Street over here. It is literally fucking Barney and Friends with the WWE. And people like me, people who are my age and older, are watching it. I don't even know what this company is even catering to. I don't even know what the demographic that they're catering to. Matter of fact, actually, you know what I do know? They're catering to a demographic of retards. Hey, Vince, what's your demographic? Oh, we're catering to retards. Happy fucking Corbin. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to keep a close eye on it. All I'm going to tell you is, Happy Corbin, that is not going to get over, whether it's going to be a heel version of Corbin or a babyface version of Corbin. Here's something that I want to know. What is so hard about bringing back the Lone Wolf? What is so hard about reviving the Lone Wolf character? That character that Baron Corbin had before they switched it, the Lone Wolf character was an excellent fucking character. The Lone Wolf character was an excellent fucking character. The Lone Wolf character had the potential to be a world fucking champion. I was advocating for Baron Corbin to become the WWE champion when he was the Lone Wolf. He had some great feuds and some great matches as the Lone Wolf with the likes of Ziggler, Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, Kalisto. That's what they need to do. As soon as he got rid of the Lone Wolf character, as soon as he shaved his head bald, Baron Corbin became the biggest waste of time in the WWE. Everything that Baron Corbin did was jack shit. Everything. Outside of his work in the King of the Ring tournament. And even then, they didn't capitalize on Baron Corbin after that King of the Ring tournament. They didn't capitalize on him. They just let him waste away. The King gimmick was a complete waste of time, but Happy Corbin, I don't care what it's going to be, it already sounds like a fucking joke. Moving on. We got a report from Dave Meltzer of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, and it's a report on Bobby Lashley. Last week, I did report that there was a surprise match in store for Bobby Lashley. Looks like Dave Meltzer may have been right. According to Dave Meltzer, Bobby Lashley could be set for a match with Goldberg at SummerSlam of this year. Now, I'm pretty sure I just gave you nightmares by mentioning the name Goldberg, or as Bray Wyatt called him before he got buried, William Goldberg. Now let's talk about this for a minute. On one hand, it's not as bad as you think, and on the other hand, it's fucking ridiculous. Now let's talk about why it's not as bad as you think. It's not as bad as you think because Goldberg, while I know Goldberg, while I know he beat The Fiend back at Super Showdown, I get it. But when he came back and he put over Drew McIntyre, that was one match. That was one match that he competed in the 2 matches a year deal that WWE has going for him. Goldberg is probably going to appear on, at most, 2 or 3 Raws leading up to SummerSlam, and then he'll face Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam, and that would be Goldberg's deal for the year. If Goldberg wins the WWE Championship, he's going to be gone for the rest of the year leading up until the Royal Rumble. That's the earliest that he'll come back at. So if Goldberg and Lashley face off at SummerSlam, that means that Bobby Lashley's going to win. More likely than not, it means that Bobby Lashley's going to win, and we could very well be getting Lashley versus Big E, with the report that Big E is moving over to Raw after SummerSlam, which I have no problem with. That's not an issue. It's not an issue whatsoever. You see, if Bobby Lashley faced Brock Lesnar, at this year's SummerSlam, Lesnar will do whatever he is told to do as long as the right amount of money is on the table. So if they told Brock Lesnar to lose to Bobby Lashley, Brock Lesnar will absolutely lose to Bobby Lashley, as long as the right amount of money's on the table. That's not my concern. My concern is the WWE in their sick and twisted mind would think that Brock Lesnar's still a draw, people still want to see Brock Lesnar, and they'll give the WWE title to Brock Lesnar because they think that the crowd is going to take to Brock Lesnar just like they used to take to Brock Lesnar. Meanwhile, people are sick of Brock Lesnar in the World Championship title scene. WWE in their history of Brock Lesnar in world title matches is not a very good history. If Brock is put in a world title match, he's going to win. That's just how it is. I don't trust WWE to make the right decision, but with Goldberg and the fact that he has fewer dates than Lesnar, and the fact that this would be his second match of the year, he would come in, do the job for Bobby Lashley, and we wouldn't see him until the Royal Rumble. And then you got Big E versus Lashley after SummerSlam. That is not a bad scenario. That's the positive side of it. But on the negative side of it, it's fucking ridiculous because all this company does is fall back on part-timers and they can't build new stars. They can't. This draft that they've had has been going on for 5 fucking years and there's only been 2 new stars created out of this draft. AJ Styles and Drew McIntyre. Outside of that, no one is a new star. Everyone is in the same position that they were in when the draft first started, minus a few people who have moved up from the catering crew to the mid-card. It's ridiculous that they need to fall back on people like Goldberg and Cena and Edge and Lesnar. I don't understand why you can't just put Bobby Lashley in there against Finn Balor. You know, Big E beating Lashley, that wouldn't be a bad idea. You could tell a great story with Big E and the fact that he's fighting on behalf of his New Day brethren and he's going to beat Bobby Lashley and become the WWE champion. It's a good story and it creates a new star. But if Balor were to fight Lashley, that would benefit more than just one person. If Big E beats Lashley, that would just benefit Big E. But if Balor beats Lashley at SummerSlam, that would benefit more than just Finn Balor. It would benefit Balor in the sense that he would be the WWE champion and he would finally be in a position that we know he should have been during his first run with the WWE. It would also benefit AJ Styles, who should lose the tag team titles with Omos to the Viking Raiders. The Viking Raiders should face RK Bro. Styles needs to get rid of Omos and he needs to get back to being AJ Styles. Styles then goes into SummerSlam, faces Drew McIntyre, wins, and then Styles is Balor's first feud after Balor wins the WWE title from Lashley. It benefits AJ Styles. It also benefits Jeff Hardy. You could put Jeff Hardy against Finn Balor. It also benefits Sheamus. You can put Sheamus in there against Finn Balor. You can have him drop the U.S. title to Damian Priest, and you could put him in a program with Finn Balor. But the biggest superstar that would benefit from Finn Balor winning the WWE Championship from Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam would be Adam Cole. Finn Balor wins the WWE title. Adam Cole gets called up to Raw. He's groomed to win the Rumble. He wins the Royal Rumble in 2022. We get Balor and Cole for the WWE title at WrestleMania 38. Adam Cole wins the WWE title. Balor winning the title from Lashley would benefit more than Big E winning the title from Lashley. And like I said, it is fucking ridiculous how this company needs to constantly fall back on part-timers. So on the one hand, Goldberg wouldn't win the WWE title, whereas if Lesnar was in that position, he would absolutely beat Lashley. But on the other hand, it sucks and it's ridiculous that WWE can't build new stars and put someone else in that position to fight Bobby Lashley. So there's good and there's bad to it. You could take it how you will, but the report going around is that Goldberg could make a return and he could fight Lashley at SummerSlam. According to Fightful Select, this is a new report, there are some big changes that are said to be made backstage in the WWE within the next coming weeks. The report stated, and I quote, "We're told to keep expecting changes within WWE, including some potential big ones in the coming days and weeks backstage," end quote. Not really sure what changes they're talking about. But if I am one of these insiders, or if I'm anyone really, I don't believe this shit. I don't believe this shit whatsoever. Why? Again, how many fucking times have we heard this shit? How many fucking times have we heard there's going to be changes backstage? There's going to be changes on television. There's going to be changes this. We're going to change this. We're going to change that. They're going to improve this. They're going to improve that. And it never fucking happens. The only thing that's going to change backstage is the fact that you're going to see more part-timers like Goldberg and Lesnar and Cena and Edge and all of these other part-timers. That's the only thing that's going to change. Or WWE is going to manipulate their roster into thinking that things are going to change, and things are never going to change. Maybe they'll push new talent for a few weeks, and then they'll get bored of it, and then they'll stop. Nothing's going to change. What do I always say with this company? Seeing is believing. I'm not going to believe that anything's going to change with this shit company unless I actually see it play out. 1 week, one segment, one match, that ain't going to do it. It's all about consistency. If we have a consistent streak of 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 good shows in a row, and we actually see the changes take place over the course of a few weeks or a few months or the year, then we can believe it. But like I said, seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. Now, I'm not sure what other big changes could be made. We'll see what happens. I'll keep my eye on that as well. Time for the big report. Fightful Select reported that Vince McMahon scouted the WWE PC this week. He was accompanied by John Laurinaitis. My name is Mr. John Laurinaitis. I am the Executive Vice President of Talent Relations and the creator of the greatest concept in wrestling history, and that is people power. He's accompanied by John Laurinaitis, Bruce Pritchard, White Castle Pritchard, and WWE President Nick Khan, no relation to AEW CEO Tony Khan. and he went down to scout talent in the PC. The site also reported that a lot of NXT talent were scared with the recent visit coming up, considering the recent amount of releases going on. But after the visit, the NXT talent was relieved. Some were concerned that they might have been next on the list to get released, but the feeling going around is that everyone is at ease. Now, first off, let's talk about Vince scouting the PC. This is a rare visit for Vince McMahon, but at the end of the fucking day, this is merely a scenario where Vince McMahon, he's going to scout the PC, he's going to take who he likes, and then he's going to mold them in his image. This is nothing that we haven't seen before. This is just another case of Vince McMahon taking talent from NXT, molding them into the image that he wants them to be molded in. Then he's going to put them out on television on Raw or SmackDown, and they're going to fail. He's going to blame Triple H. He's going to bury the individuals that he called up, and the cycle is going to repeat itself whenever he decides to take talent up from NXT again. Vince McMahon, he's calling up talent, and there's reports that, WWE wants to improve the quality of their television programming. Really? You know, WWE has the resources at their disposal to fix their television programming. They don't need to take from NXT. They got the resources on Raw and SmackDown. They just refuse to do something with them because they don't fucking know talent. They don't. And we're going to talk about this more when we get to the NXT review, because with this report and what happened on NXT, NXT could very well be set to be purged. And matter of fact, it wouldn't surprise me that Vince McMahon is legitimately trying to kill NXT from the inside. He already put NXT on Wednesdays and killed the aura of it because of the obsession with AEW. And then he purged NXT last year. He took multiple main event names from NXT. Mia Yim, Keith Lee, Damian Priest, Dominik Dijakovic, Matt Riddle. And he's going to do it again. He's going to purge NXT again. Triple H busting his ass to try and get NXT back to where it was, only for Vince McMahon to purge NXT again. And now Triple H is going to have to start from scratch. And then you got the talent. The talent was relieved that they weren't getting released. Now, I don't know the financial stability of all the talent in NXT. Quite frankly, I don't care. It's not my business. I don't know how they perceive money. I don't know whether or not they are set to get on television. I'm not sure how far along they are in paying their bills and whatever. I'm not sure if they're just scared that they're not going to find another job anywhere. I'm not sure if they just don't believe that they have the power to succeed anywhere else but WWE. But at the end of the fucking day, being released by this company is probably the best fucking thing that could happen to you. To be quite honest with you, why are you going to stick with this company if you're going to get the opportunities that you deserve in NXT only to be called up to the main roster and buried? Essentially, your career is over either way with the WWE, whether you are released or whether you're not released. If you're not released, then you're going to get called up to the main roster and your career is going to be over. Your career is going to be buried. Just look at what happened to Pac. Just look at what happened to Tyler Breeze. Look at what happened to Fandango. Look what happened to Bray Wyatt. Look what happened to Keith Lee. Look what happened to Dominik Dijakovic. Look what happened to all these individuals that came up from NXT. Nakamura, Bobby Roode. Dead. So, it doesn't matter whether you're released or not. It's the same fucking outcome. But at least if you're released, you have the opportunity to go elsewhere where they actually value you and they'll actually push you in a meaningful fucking role. At the end of the day, I don't know what's going on, but if I'm one of these talents, I would be begging to get released. Because I don't want to fucking go through NXT just to be booked correctly in NXT and then treated poorly on the main roster because some 75-year-old bastard don't know my fucking worth. Those are the news, rumors, and reports. Let's check the chat before we move on to the weekly show reviews. We got 10 likes so far. How you doing? We got Showstopper TV. How you doing? We got Charlie Sees All. How are you? How are you, Mr. Earl Cole? Please hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Hit that like button. How are you doing, everyone? Hit that like button. We got a lot of material to go over. We got a lot more material during the weekly shows to go over. We got Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, which both sucked. AEW and NXT were both very good. We got a lot of material to discuss. We got a lot of material to talk about. Thank you very much for stopping by. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Let me know what you think about the recent news, rumors, and reports that I just threw down. We're going to get into the Monday Night Raw review. Keep the chat alive. I will check the chat after the Monday Night Raw review is done. So, let's talk about Monday Night Raw, shall we? Because I got a lot to say about Monday Night Raw. Sonya Deville, who, by the way, I don't fucking know why the fuck you even brought her back if she was going to be a WWE official. Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce, they said Orton couldn't Orton couldn't compete right now. So they made an over-the-top rope battle royal to determine Orton's spot in the Money in the Bank qualifying match later on in the night. Riddle then came in and gave them a letter, clearly written by him, stating that he should compete on behalf of Randy Orton. So they allowed Riddle to enter the Battle Royal. And we got a Battle Royal. The usual members of the catering crew, we got Tozawa, Gulak, and Truth in there. They traded the 24/7 title back and forth. Fucking garbage. I don't know why this is still a thing. I really don't know why this is still a thing. This has been going on for 2 fucking years. Reportedly, USA Network still wants it to be a thing. And if that's the case, fuck USA Network, because USA Network is run by a bunch of fucking retards. Get rid of the 24/7 title. Omos then helped Jinder Mahal take out the Viking Raiders. Coming back from commercial, Damian Priest, he's been found. Damian Priest was back on Raw this week. Good. He eliminated Jinder Mahal. Thank Christ he eliminated Jinder Mahal. Cedric Alexander then eliminated Hardy. Priest with Hit the Lights, and he eliminated Cedric, and it came down to Riddle and Priest as the final two. They had a great back and forth. They had a very, very nice back and forth, did Damian Priest and Matt Riddle. Damian Priest, after he got German suplexed by Matt Riddle, he came back with a nice spinning heel kick. Priest nearly sent Riddle to the floor. We then had Riddle catching a clothesline by Damian Priest. Damian Priest was then sent out to the apron. Riddle with a final flash knee strike, and Riddle wins the Battle Royal. He is going to the main event to fight on behalf of Randy Orton. Now, I'm going to save my little rant on Matt Riddle. I'm going to save my little rant on what they did with Matt Riddle to the end of the show. We'll talk about what happened with Matt Riddle at the end of the show. But this was a very nice back and forth by Matt Riddle and Damian Priest. I definitely would love to see more of that. And if anything, that's a future WWE Championship program in about 2-3 years. So, very nice program with Matt Riddle and Damian Priest, and Riddle fighting on behalf of Randy Orton. He's trying to earn the respect of Randy Orton. He's trying to earn the admiration of Randy Orton, which I don't mind. Shayna Baszler, Shayna Loser, and Nia Flapjacks with 2 pounds of Aunt Jemima's maple syrup on the side. and Reginald, they had a little exchange of words in the back. Alexa Bliss was watching in the shadows. Nikki Cross then took on not Alexa Bliss. Nikki Cross took on Shayna Baszler. She cut a promo before the match, and she called herself Nikki Ash, almost a superhero. Nikki Ash, almost a superhero. I can think of a lot of things that I almost did after she mentioned that. For instance, I almost put my head through the wall. For instance, I almost threw my television out the window. For instance, I almost threw up my dinner that I had. I almost threw up the turkey burger that I had for dinner before I turned on Monday Night Raw. Nikki Ash. Not even a superhero could fucking save this fucking show. You want to know something? And you want to know what the sad part about all this shit is? This match wasn't even that bad. This wasn't even that bad of a match. But holy fucking shit. These women have been absolutely destroyed by main roster creative to the point of no return. There is absolutely nothing that can be done with Nikki Cross or Shayna Baszler that's going to help them. And Nikki Cross, there is nothing that she can say that is going to convince me that she is happy with this role. She does not sound genuine at all. She sounds like she's just putting on a happy face because this is the only way she's going to be pushed on television in a singles capacity. As a fucking great value version of Mighty Molly. Stay in the back. There's a dumb bimbo coming through. This wasn't even that bad of a match, but there is absolutely nothing that you can say that's going to make me care about them, and there's nothing that WWE can do that's going to make me care about either of them in the current role that they are in. Nikki Cross, she was forced to create this character because there was no other way that she was going to get on television, and they released her fucking husband. They released her fucking husband. So Shayna Baszler wore down Cross with some stiff kicks. Cross came back with a drop kick. All of a sudden, Alexa Bliss's theme music hit, and Alexa came out. Cross came off the top rope with a crossbody onto Nia and Reginald. Coming back from a commercial, Shayna with a punt knee strike to the face for a 2. Cross came back with a tornado DDT. Alexa with a kick to Nia Jax and a low blow to Reginald. Cross then dropped Shayna Baszler and she won with a fucking Maestral. Same thing as last week. Shayna Baszler. I can't remember the last time Shayna Baszler won a match. Shayna Baszler is a walking fucking L. And Zelina Vega, she's headed down that road too. We'll talk about her later on, because I got shit to say about Zelina Vega. Both women destroyed by main roster creative. Nikki Ash, Nikki almost a superhero, makes me want to jump off a fucking cliff. She almost made me jump off the fucking cliff. Shayna Baszler, like I said, Shayna Baszler, just fucking walk. Walk! I cannot stress to you how much I just want Shayna Baszler to walk. If anyone is on the fucking roster that I want to see fucking walk, it's Shayna Baszler. Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston came out. He was going to have a face-to-face with MVP. He said, there are certain moments that change you for the better or for worse. Hearing my best friend Xavier Woods in pain because of Lashley and MVP, I still don't know how that has affected me yet. When Woods needed me most, I couldn't do anything. Last week, Woods showed the world what kind of competitor he is, and what happened after that match was not okay. That image is getting into my head like a nightmare. But at Money in the Bank, I'm going to take everything from Bobby. MVP's music hit. He came out with the women of Lashley's camp. He said, "I'm sorry, did I hear you say you'll beat Bobby? Let's face it, you're a feel-good story, but you're no threat to the Almighty." MVP said, "Lashley looks forward to humiliating you at Money in the Bank." Kofi goes, "I think Bobby is getting a little soft. If it wasn't for you grabbing Drew's foot, we might see a new WWE champion. Woods nearly beat Bobby. And, well, I already beat Bobby. And every week, a layer is being stripped away from the Almighty. And maybe, at Money in the Bank, maybe he'll look like you, MVP, trying to hold on to what he once was." So MVP goes, "Lashley put in the work, and I do the things I do because Lashley deserves it." Kofi goes, "Oh, and I didn't deserve it? I never took a day off. I went to West Africa to show the little kids that you could accomplish anything if you believed in yourself, and I defended my title on TV the following week. You are sending Lashley on vacation, and he's taking his eye off the prize. And when he takes his eye off the prize, he's going to lose that prize." MVP then said, "You fed your ego going to Africa to bask in your own glory. And your little court jester was optimistic. He didn't favor too well last week." Kofi said, "You've been milking this knee injury for 6 months. MVP then tried to swing his cane at Kofi. Kofi hit Trouble in Paradise. Kofi screamed, 'Now you hurt. Now you hurt.' And that was pretty much it. This was a very good promo. I'm not going to take anything away from Kofi or MVP. This was a very good promo, but who cares? Who cares? Kofi is not beating Lashley. Kofi's not beating Lashley. And this is merely just an interim match for Lashley to get to SummerSlam. Now, what I will say, though, if Kofi showed this type of seriousness during his title reign, maybe the title reign that Kofi had would have been a lot better. Just saying. Asuka and Naomi versus Eva Marie and Piper Niven, which I will not be calling her the other name. I'm not going to be calling her the D word. Piper Niven wins with a crossbody to Asuka. Eva Marie jumped off the apron just like Piper Niven jumped off the apron last week during their Money in the Bank qualifying match. Piper Niven got the crossbody in on Asuka. Asuka loses in 3 minutes. Eva Marie then announced herself as the winner again. Fucking terrible. I hope to God that this results in Piper Niven getting away from Eva Marie and going back to NXT UK. I hope to fucking God that Eva Marie gets fucking released. I hope she gets fucking cut. Because she ain't cutting it. I'm not even wasting my fucking time. Ricochet versus Johnny Drip Drip, John Morrison, America's Most Wanted, whatever the fuck that means. Apparently, this is John Morrison's personality outside of WWE. And there was a report going around that Taya Valkyrie actually said that John Morrison likes to rap. He likes to rap in his off time during car rides. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself and having fun, but that doesn't mean that that needs to be transferred onto television. That doesn't mean it needs to be transferred onto Monday Night Raw. That doesn't mean that should be John Morrison's presentation. Matter of fact, John Morrison, it wouldn't surprise me that John Morrison is just following the Nikki Cross route, and he's merely doing this because Vince McMahon wants characters, no matter how outlandish they may be. Johnny fucking Drip Drip. Forgiveness ain't good for dripness. So this match with Ricochet and John Morrison, this was actually a very good match. Ricochet, he did a crazy fucking spot where he was blocked by The Miz. The Miz was in his wheelchair, and The Miz blocked Ricochet. Miz didn't move. Ricochet did a step up over the wheelchair and did a Hurricane Rana to John Morrison on the floor. Looked fucking great. Then he sprayed The Miz with the drip stick, and then he snapped it in half. So coming back from commercial, Ricochet with a huge forearm, rolling Death Valley driver and a sliding clothesline for a 2. Morrison then came back with a sliding knee for a 2. Morrison with a springboard enziguri. He missed Starship Pain. We had a springboard dropkick by Ricochet. Morrison then got out of dodge. He put himself on the barricade. Ricochet, like a fucking maniac, does a springboard crossbody, sending Morrison off the barricade to the floor. Obviously, there was a crash pad underneath it. Very, very, very fun match. Could have gone longer. We're getting a rematch again on Monday Night Raw. Surprise, surprise, because that's all WWE fucking does is fucking rematches. So, I'm expecting a clean win by Ricochet. Rhea Ripley, Mandy Rose, and Dana Brooke versus Charlotte Flair, Natalya, and Tamina. I did not take any notes. Flair wins with a big boot to Mandy Rose. Who gives a fuck? Afterwards, Rhea Ripley gave Flair a chop block after the match. So apparently, they're playing this up as Rhea Ripley is doing whatever she can to win. She's acting like a heel, but she's going up against Charlotte, who's clearly a heel. So they're both heels going at it. I don't know who the fuck to cheer for and who the fuck to boo. Who the fuck cares? Jackson Ryker versus Elias. This is a strap match. Elias wins. Or no, Elias doesn't win. Elias loses with a black hole slam by Jackson Ryker. Who the fuck cares? I don't know where the fuck Jackson Ryker goes. I don't give a shit. Jackson Ryker ain't going to amount to anything. Drew McIntyre, Matt Riddle, and AJ Styles. This is a last chance Money in the Bank qualifying match. Now let's go over what happened in the match before I talk about all of the other shit surrounding this match. So, Drew McIntyre, he tore apart the table. Riddle took out Drew, suplexed the Styles on the floor. Drew then with a suplex to Riddle on the floor. Riddle and Styles with a double body slam to Riddle through the announce table. Coming back from commercial, Styles with a brain buster for a 2. Riddle with a draping DDT, very Randy Orton-esque. Styles then caught Riddle on his shoulders. Riddle went for a final flash knee strike. Styles caught him on his shoulders. A beautiful fucking counter right here. Styles delivered a fucking burning hammer. Looked brutal. Burning hammer for a 2. Drew then came back and he took it to Styles with a reverse Alabama slam to Riddle. Riddle came back with a slingshot floating bro to Styles and Drew. Riddle then accidentally kicked the steps and he said, "I think it's broken," obviously talking about his toes. The refs came to help him and they took him to the back. Coming back from another commercial, Drew mounted a comeback against Styles with a nice neck breaker and a kip up. Spinebuster for a 2. Styles hit the Ushi-Goroshi for a close 2 count. Drew hit a Meishinuku driver for a close 2. Styles locked in the calf crusher. All of a sudden, Matt Riddle then came back with his foot all taped up. Riddle was able to hit the RKO on AJ Styles, but Omos saved. Omos saved Styles. Drew came back with a Claymore out of nowhere. And Drew McIntyre wins and advances to Money in the Bank. Now, first off, positive thing, this match was excellent. This was an excellent match. There's no way this match was going to be bad if you got Riddle, Styles, and Drew McIntyre on the show. This was an excellent match. Excellent stuff by all three men. But here's where I have a problem. First of all, why are we getting a last chance qualifying match on Raw, but we're not getting a last chance qualifying match on SmackDown? On SmackDown, we had all different qualifying matches. Now, not really, because they're all rematches, but on SmackDown, we had qualifying matches, and no one got a second chance. Why the fuck are we getting a second chance qualifying match on Raw when you got guys like Shelton Benjamin, Angel Garza, Cedric Alexander, Jeff Hardy, Lucha House Party? Drew Gulak. I don't understand why we're doing a last chance qualifying match on Raw, but it's not a last chance qualifying match on SmackDown. Why can't Drew Gulak or Cedric Alexander, Angel Garza, Shelton Benjamin, Jeff Hardy, Damian Priest, why can't they get the opportunity? Why aren't they getting an opportunity? You couldn't have picked out anyone. You couldn't have done Cedric Alexander versus Damian Priest. I would have loved to see that match. Couldn't have done that match. You couldn't have done Jeff Hardy versus Shelton Benjamin. You couldn't have done Drew Gulak versus Lince Dorado. You couldn't have done any of those fucking matches. You had to do a last chance qualifying match. You had to do a last chance qualifying match with three men who already lost their qualifying matches. Number 2, Randy Orton got injured. Matt Riddle is fighting on behalf of Randy Orton. Matt Riddle's fighting on behalf of Randy Orton. I get what they're trying to do, but I just fucking hate how they're trying to do it. You're trying to get Matt Riddle to warm up to Randy Orton, or Randy Orton to warm up to Matt Riddle, but you're going about it in a way that's completely fucking unnecessary. Then, here's the one thing that pisses me off the most. I can overlook those two things, specifically because when Matt Riddle was in the position that he was in here on Monday Night Raw, when Matt Riddle was in the position that he was in, Matt Riddle was on the verge of being elevated. I didn't like the fact that there was a last chance qualifying match. It was a terrible fucking idea. And then I hated the fact that Matt Riddle was fighting on behalf of Randy Orton. But throughout the night, Matt Riddle was gaining all this traction. He was gaining all this momentum. He was becoming a bigger star than he was before this night. And WWE, they didn't pull the trigger on what they should have pulled the trigger on. They had the opportunity to elevate Matt Riddle up to that next level. Now, I'm not saying Matt Riddle would have been a made man. He wouldn't have been a made man, but he would have been further up the hierarchy in the WWE and further up the ladder than he is right now. He would have gone up another rung or two. Now he's in the same place that he was in before this night. You had him win the Battle Royal. You had him go up there against Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles. He took a fucking beating. He broke his toe. He got an apparent foot injury. And he came back all to get Claymored. Not only did he lose, but he was the one pinned. What was the fucking point of anything that you did with Matt Riddle if he was going to lose? Don't you think it would have been a hell of a lot better if Matt Riddle would have won the Battle Royal and then came back from the apparent foot injury to beat Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles in the same fucking match on the same fucking night? Don't you think that would have been a hell of a lot better and you would have actually boosted Matt Riddle's credibility up just a little bit? But no, not only does he lose, but he's the one pinned by Drew McIntyre. And Drew McIntyre, he is on the verge of becoming what Roman Reigns was before he turned heel. And you do not want to be in that position. Roman Reigns was the biggest failure of a babyface that we've ever seen. He was the biggest fucking failure of a babyface that we've ever seen. Maybe in WWE history. Maybe since the days of Lex Luger. He was bad. Roman Reigns was one of the worst things about WWE television because all this guy was doing was floating around the main event scene, constantly in the title picture, when the crowd did not want him there. It's the same reason why people hate Charlotte Flair, but the only difference is Charlotte Flair's a heel. Now you got Drew McIntyre. WWE fucked up Drew McIntyre's WWE title reign not once but twice. They fucked up his title reign not once but twice. There's nothing that they can do. The guy is completely fucking done. There's no way you're going to get people to care about Drew McIntyre ever again. Not in this role anyway. He was getting WWE title match after WWE title match after WWE title match, even when he wasn't the champion, and people were getting fucking sick of him. They're sick of Drew McIntyre in this role. WWE never knows how to properly book a superstar. They either overbook the superstar or they don't book the superstar enough. That's similar to what they did. That's exactly what they did here. What they did here was they didn't go all the way with Matt Riddle, and they're going too much with Drew McIntyre. If Drew McIntyre wins one big match at this stage of his WWE run, if Drew McIntyre wins the wrong match, he's going to get booed. Matter of fact, I wouldn't be surprised if he's booed at Money in the Bank. Drew cannot win Money in the Bank. Drew should be in a position where he's putting people over. Drew doesn't need to win anymore. You've already established Drew McIntyre. You need to worry about building stars to get on the level of a Drew McIntyre. One wrong move and Drew McIntyre is going to be 2015, 2016, 2017 Roman Reigns. You're overbooking Drew McIntyre. Stop it now or shit is not going to turn out well. It's not. That was Monday Night Raw. We got 4 more shows to go over. Let's check the chat. How you doing, Leo? Please hit that thumbs up. Cool King still here. Showstopper TV. How is everyone doing? We got 11 people in the stream. We got 13 likes. I think we can get to more than just 13 likes, ladies and gents. It is vital because we got 4 more shows to go over. We got plenty more to talk about here. We got plenty more to talk about here. I see that Danielle, she's got dab mania going. She's going fucking dab crazy. Unbelievable. You guys are going fucking dab crazy over there. So, that was Monday Night Raw. That was Monday Night Raw for you. So, for anyone who was wondering how Monday... Holy shit! Holy shit, Hooligram! Hooligram, my boy, Hooligram. How are you, brother? How are you, brother? How you doing? You just missed my Monday Night Raw rant. And you also missed my rant on, who else? You also missed my rant on the Happy Corbin gimmick going on. But don't worry, Grim. You're going to stick around for the rant on Zelina Vega when we get to the SmackDown review. But right now, we're going to be talking about NXT. But Hula Grim, you are fucking awesome. Thank you for showing up. Please make sure you share out the stream if you haven't already done so. Like the stream if you haven't already done so as well. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Especially Hula Grim, because Hula Grim, he's the man over here. Looks like, you know what? I'm going to have to make you... Boom! Yo, Hula Grim, you're a mod now. Hula Grim, you're a mod now. Zelina L. Idiot. Fantastic. Oh, trust me, we'll be talking about that bitch later on. We'll be talking about that bitch later on. But we're going to talk about NXT. Let's talk about NXT. NXT was actually a fairly decent show. NXT was actually a fairly decent show. They've done a very good job at building towards the Great American Bash. They've done a very good job at building towards the Great American Bash. And the Great American Bash, I expect to be a damn good fucking show. It looks like a damn good fucking show. So, the show kicked off with Ember Moon, Shotzi Blackheart. They took on Zoe Stark and Io Shirai and Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. This was a triple threat #1 contenders match. The winners would go on to face The Way at the Great American Bash for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. So, Shirai, she took out Raquel and Kai with a moonsault to the floor. Very, very fast-paced action to start off this match. Blackheart with a suicide dive onto the pile. Shotzi got taken out by her partner. when Ember Moon took to the sky with a very nice cannonball senton. Stark then came off the top with a crossbody, so it was bedlam all over the place. So, coming back from commercial, Gonzalez was in control before Shirai hit a roll-through double stomp. Stark got the hot tag. We had a nice half-and-half suplex to Kai. Double sliding knee by Stark to Moon and Kai. Shirai then with a missile drop kick to Kai. Shotzi came in with the swift kicks to Shirai. Moon came in with a rolling elbow. Gonzalez came in. Everyone was going after Gonzalez. Everything just broke down. We had a double stomp by Dakota Kai to Shotzi Blackheart. Shirai then with a backbreaker. She hit the over the moonsault to Raquel and Kai. Everyone got their big moves in. Near fall by Kai. We had a palm strike by Io Shirai and then the over the moonsault. And Io Shirai and Zoe Stark get the win. This was a very good match. Matter of fact, this was probably the best match of the entire show. This was probably the best match of the entire show. And Zoe Stark and Io Shirai are going to face the way for the NXT Women's Tag Team titles. I do not see them winning because Io Shirai, she's really done everything that she could in NXT. I don't see them winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if she does win because Triple H, he wants to protect Io Shirai at all costs. So he'll give Io and Zoe Stark the NXT Women's Tag Team titles for the simple fact of he doesn't want Io Shirai to suffer the same fate as Kairi Sane and Asuka. So I wouldn't be surprised if they win, but I don't see them winning. Gargano, he then attacked Cross in the back. So it looks like they're building towards Gargano and Cross. The guards went after him. Cross shouted, "You're a dead man." You want a blue wrench? You want a blue wrench? Cool King. There you go. There you fucking go. Cool King, you're a moderator now. We got the NXT Breakout Tournament. The NXT Breakout Tournament is returning in 2 weeks. NXT Breakout Tournament is returning in 2 weeks. Now, why is it returning in 2 weeks? We'll get to that when we get to the end of the NXT portion of the review. We'll talk about that. Karrion Kross, he came out. He says, "I got you last week. This week you got me. But I dare you to walk down and I dare you to face me when I can see the shot coming." Obviously, he's talking to Gargano. Gargano then came out and he said, "You know who I am, buddy. That's my world you're standing in. And I have actual talent. You may be bigger than me, but everyone knows that I'm smarter than you." Then, all of a sudden, Austin Theory came out. He jumped Karrion Kross from behind. Kross ended up taking out Theory and Gargano. Security came out and Gargano super kicked Kross. Kross looked at Joe and he said, "You're doing a hell of a job, Joe." So, pretty fucking crazy right there. Pretty fucking crazy right there by Karrion Kross. I do expect Kross and Joe to fight at some point. But looks like we're going to get Gargano versus Kross, which I really don't have a problem with. The charging battery, the NXT charging battery is at 61%. The NXT charging battery is at 61%. So it looks like whoever's returning is returning at the Great American Bash. Roderick Strong of Diamond Mine, he took on Asher Hale. Strong gets the win with a modified arm stretch submission. The finish was fucking terrible. I'm just pointing it out there. The finish was fucking terrible. I would much rather have Roderick Strong in a position where he is winning with the end of Heartache. Just bring back the end of Heartache. Malcolm Bivens then said, "Diamond Mine is open for business, and this is just the beginning, baby." So, obviously, Diamond Mine is really coming around, and I do see Roderick Strong as the man to take the NXT Cruiserweight title off of Kushida, and I think that's going to happen at the next TakeOver. Aries Sterling a.k.a. Alex Zane, versus Cameron Grimes. Good old Cameron Grimes going straight to the moon. Cameron Grimes. So, Cameron Grimes and Aries Sterling. This was actually a very nice showcase for Aries Sterling. Aries Sterling does have potential. I will say that. So, Aries Sterling with a nice springboard moonsault to the floor. He kept the aggression on Grimes before Grimes came back with some forearms. Sterling missed the shooting star press. Grimes won with the cave-in. Afterwards, LA Knight came out. My man, LA Knight. But he's got nothing on DJ Storms. Just pointing it out there. So my man, LA Knight came out. Yeah. He goes, yay, Cameron Grimes wins, and nobody gives a damn. Gotta love LA Knight. Gotta love LA Knight. He says, I look at you and I see a natural-born loser. I think you're talking to the wrong individual. I think you should be talking to Shayna Baszler on that one, Mr. LA Knight. So Grimes goes, you want to talk about Ted? All you wanted was bling. How about next week I take that bling from you? LA Knight said, you and me, Great American Bash this title? He goes, nah, because you don't deserve it. I'm the $1 million megastar right here, LA Knight. But how about this? I got this for you. If you and me face next week, if you lose, you got to become my butler. Grimes says, I accept, and he says he's going to the moon. Very good stuff right here. Very, very, very good stuff right here by Cameron Grimes and LA Knight. And if I'm going to be quite honest with you, this is probably the best thing in NXT right now. In NXT's current run, this is probably the best thing in NXT as we speak right now. Cameron Grimes and LA Knight are doing great fucking work. They are doing great fucking work. LA Knight, he's a fucking prick. He's a dickhead. I love it. Cameron Grimes, he is really coming around, and I'm loving what Cameron Grimes is doing as a babyface. And this is only going to enhance the feud and enhance the program. And if things work out well, I can see LA Knight winning. Cameron Grimes, he is bought back. He's bought back by Ted DiBiase. Ted DiBiase comes back, and he buys Cameron Grimes from LA Knight, and we get Ted DiBiase managing Cameron Grimes, and we get LA Knight, Cameron Grimes at NXT TakeOver after SummerSlam, where Cameron Grimes becomes the $1 million champion, and he finally gets his win over LA Knight. Now, that was probably the best thing about NXT, but this right here, this thing coming up, this is actually my second favorite thing about NXT. Kyle O'Reilly came out, and he says, I want to fight dudes that will make me a better fighter. Next week, it's Cole O'Reilly 2, and I prove to the world that I can one day be NXT champion. But with Cole, it's one excuse after another. Why don't you come out and give me another excuse after I whoop your ass next week? Cole then came out. Joe came out with security. We had Cole saying, you have made it crystal clear that you wish you were me so badly. You wish that you could be in my shoes, Kyle. You're obsessed with me. Kyle then goes, I beat you, put you in the hospital, and then you come back and pick a fight with me at every twist and turn. Cole goes, Kyle O'Reilly is nothing without Adam Cole. Think back to all of those moments. Who do you see standing by you? It was me. I was the star of the Undisputed Era, and I am still the star. I know it, the locker room knows it, and even your wife knows it. So O'Reilly was going, don't you dare mention my wife, And you know what? I'm ashamed of that time in the Undisputed Era. Cole then knocked the mic out of Kyle's hand. Cole then went for a punch on Samoa Joe. This was great right here. Cole went for a punch on Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe ducked it. O'Reilly then locked in the heel hook, and Joe just let it happen. Joe just let it happen. I thought that was fucking great. I thought that was very, 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 very nice. A very nice touch right here. Joe just allowed O'Reilly to lock in the heel hook, and then after the heel hook was in, he just was like, okay, now you can come on in. He was holding the security off because Adam Cole, he went for a strike on him. I thought that was great. He didn't even need to throw a punch. He just allowed Kyle O'Reilly to lock in the heel hook. I thought that was very, very interesting. I don't know what's going to happen, but I have a feeling that Adam Cole could very well be headed down a collision course with Samoa Joe, and that could very well end up with Adam Cole losing to Joe, and he could very well go up to the main roster, even though I don't like it. We had the charging battery. The charging battery was at 71%. So, looks like the winner, or not the winner, the individual who is returning is going to be returning at the Great American Bash within a week. So, after that, we got Jake Atlas and Mercedes Martinez versus Boa and Xia Li. This wasn't necessarily terrible, but really nothing that is going to get anyone interested. Jake Atlas really isn't all that. He really isn't all that exciting. He's very boring, but I will say this. Jake Atlas, the guy can wrestle. I will give him that. The guy can wrestle. He's a much better fucking wrestler than The Miz. Not saying much, but he knows how to fucking throw a fucking punch. So we did have some intergender wrestling right here. The little double team offense by Jake Atlas and Mercedes Martinez. Boa, then he was taken out momentarily. Mei Ying then stood up. Martinez went to the outside before she got struck by Xia Li. We had a exploder suplex and a tornado kick. I think Mercedes Martinez might have been legitimately knocked out, and the ref called for the bell. So, if she was knocked out, I hope she's alright. But that's the dangers of facing a woman like Xia Li. Remind me not to fuck with Chinese women. Because I don't want to fucking get knocked out either. Remind me not to mess with Chinese women. So, Xia Li and Boa win, as they should. Not really sure where it's leading to, but there you go. It is what it is. Ciampa and Thatcher. They came out with chairs. They sat in the ring. MSK came out. They had chairs of their own, and they all had a little sit-down, chit-chat conversation. Ciampa goes, "We make this look good. But you sit there in your chairs with the tag team titles, but the champs in this match are indeed the underdogs. Look at Toothless Timmy. He's hungry for gold. And me, there ain't no man alive that elevates a title the way that Tommaso Ciampa elevates a title." Wesley then spoke up. He said, "We respect you, but we hear everyone. We hear everyone saying that you are going to you're pretty much going to beat us." Wesley was pretty much saying that the match is already decided. He said, "Next week you'll find out why MSK are the NXT Tag Team Champions." Nash Carter then slapped Timothy Thatcher. Ciampa then held him back, and this was a very nice touch right here. Ciampa got up in the face of Nash Carter and he goes, "Bring your pride and your titles. You got a free one. Next week you won't be so lucky." So I think that next week is going to be a damn good fucking match between Ciampa, Thatcher, and MSK. Definitely can't wait to see that match. It's going to be damn good. Charging battery. The charging battery was at 81%, so yes, it definitely looks like that we are going to see whoever's returning next week at the Great American Bash. Gargano, he then tried to attack Cross in the back. Gargano was speaking into the camera. All of a sudden, Karrion Kross, like a fucking zombie, rises from the ashes. And this was actually fucking hilarious. He was choking out Johnny Gargano, and he was talking trash to him as he was choking him out. He's like, "Here, Johnny, say something funny." "Oh, what's that, Johnny? Oh, what's that, Johnny?" And then Johnny just passed out. Afterwards, Samoa Joe picked up Gargano by the shirt and just carried him in. I thought that was fucking hilarious. I don't know why. I thought that was fucking hilarious. Main event. Bronson Reed, Isaiah Swerve Scott. This is for the NXT North American Championship. Bronson Reed, he was in control early. Reed squished Scott into the apron. Scott then took over. Swerve with a nice German suplex for a 2. We had a rolling flatliner for a 2. We then had Reed coming back with a clothesline and a big Death Valley driver on Swerve. Reed with a body drop and a senton. Adonis got involved. All of a sudden, we had Adonis and AJ Francis getting involved. Now, this was a crazy-ass spot right here. AJ Francis charged at Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed sidestepped it, and Francis got sent over the barricade. Adonis, he got sent over the barricade as well. Swerve took advantage of the distraction. He hit the house call and the 450 splash to the back of Bronson Reed. And Isaiah Swerve Scott is the new North American champion. Now, let's get the positive things out of the way first. Number 1, it was a very good match. Number 2, I'm happy for Swerve. But with everything going on here, I'm really not liking where this shit is headed down. I'm really not liking the route that this is headed towards. Because, let's be real here. Isaiah Swerve Scott, he was the correct man to take the title off of Bronson Reed. But this was way too soon. This was way too soon. Bronson Reed just won the fucking title. And he didn't even have a chance to really showcase to us what he can really do with the title. This should have been a match that they should have saved for the takeover at SummerSlam weekend. So I don't really fucking understand as to why they did this. And then I started thinking to myself, this would not have been a Triple H move. This right here is a Vince McMahon move. Because with the reports of Vince scouting the PC, the NXT Breakout Tournament returning, and now Bronson Reed losing the NXT North American Championship, it seems like Vince McMahon is setting up NXT to be purged again. Which I don't even fucking know why. Again, like I stated, you already have the resources that you need in order to put on a successful product on Raw and SmackDown. You got all the resources that you need. You don't need to dive into the NXT cookie jar. You could do what you need to do with what you have. How do you expect anyone to succeed when they can't even book the individuals that they have now correctly? Triple H, he had no choice but to pull the pin this early on Bronson Reed because Vince apparently wants Bronson Reed. Why do you think the NXT Breakout Tournament is coming back? Because Vince is purging NXT and Triple H needs to set up new talent to take all of their spots. I can absolutely see Bronson Reed going up. I can see Karrion Kross going up. I could see Io Shirai going up. I can see Toni Storm going up. I could fucking see Cameron Grimes beating LA Knight next week at the Great American Bash and fucking LA Knight goes up. I could absolutely see that. I could absolutely fucking see that shit happen. No doubt about it. And for anyone that's getting all excited, oh my God, look, WWE's, they're gonna improve the programming. You see what they're doing? They're bringing up NXT talent. They want to improve the programming. They want to get fresh faces on the show. You do realize who the fuck you're talking about, right? What the fuck what have I said? I just said it earlier on in this stream. Seeing is believing with this company. You can't trust this company that they're actually going to do right by these individuals from NXT. Look at all the individuals that they fucking released. They released Lio Rush. They released the Good Brothers. They released Rusev. They released Breezango. They released Killian Dane. They released Andrade. They released Aleister Black. They released Buddy Murphy. They released Chelsea Green. They released Deonna Purrazzo. They released Mickie James. Look at all the individuals that are currently waiting for an opportunity on television right now. You got Angel Garza, Cedric Alexander, Jeff Hardy, Shelton Benjamin, Drew Gulak, R-Truth, Akira Tozawa, Lucha House Party. They released Kalisto. If WWE, Baron Corbin had all the potential to be a world champion, and now look what he's doing. Moping around, and he's going to be a fucking grade A Happy Gilmore. The great value Happy Gilmore. Chubbs, you took his hand. If WWE didn't do right by all of those individuals that I just named, what makes you think they're going to do right by a Bronson Reed? What makes you think they're going to do right by a LA Knight? What makes you think they're going to do right by Io Shirai? What makes you think they're going to do right by Karrion Kross? What makes you think they're going to do right by Tony Storm? What makes you think they're going to do right by Adam Cole? What makes you think they're going to do right by any of those individuals if all of those individuals that I just named were either released or they're being suppressed in catering? Look at Shayna Baszler. Fucking choking on my own saliva ranting about this shit. Nikki Cross, Shayna Baszler. How many fucking people? Bianca Belair, Rhea Ripley. Need I say more? But no, they're gonna. Whoa, what about Keith Lee? What about Keith Lee? You got Bronson Reed on the NXT roster. You're calling up Bronson Reed. Meanwhile, Keith Lee and Bronson Reed are one and the same. The only difference between the two is that Keith Lee can do a moonsault, Bronson Reed can't. And Keith Lee is doing Spanish flies. Other than that, they're one and the same. Bronson Reed is legitimately the Australian version of Keith Lee. If Keith Lee has been out now, suppressed, and hidden away for 5 fucking months now, what makes you think Bronson Reed's gonna favor any better than Keith Lee? Oh, but he's hurt, right? He's hurt. It's a health reason. Fuck no, it's not. He's out because Vince McMahon and the whole left side of the menu, Pritchard, the whole left side of Taco Bell, Pritchard, gave up on him. That's why he's out. I wouldn't be surprised if Keith Lee is going to follow the Nikki Cross route and he's going to come up with a character so fucking outlandish that they have no choice but to use him. But sure, Bronson Reed's going to favor better than Keith Lee on the main roster. Karrion Kross is going to light the world on fucking fire. They already botched his entrance on night 1. Similar to what happened with Keith Lee. But Io Shirai is going to succeed on the main roster after Kairi Sane was booked into oblivion, and then Asuka and all of her accomplishments fucking meant nothing on the main roster. Asuka, by the way, you want to tell me that Io Shirai is going to do better than Asuka, right? You want to say that, oh, but Asuka, she's done everything there is to do as a women's competitor. Yeah, but the only memorable accomplishment was her NXT Women's title reign. Every other accomplishment meant fucking nothing. Asuka's the only fucking Women's Royal Rumble winner to lose her opportunity at WrestleMania. What makes you think Io Shirai is going to favor any better than Asuka did? And many people don't even realize that NXT being purged is one of the main reasons why NXT suffered last year. Because they purged so many fucking individuals like Keith Lee, Damian Priest, Dominic Dijakovic, Mia Yim, Matt Riddle. They purged all of those individuals last year, and the main event scene in NXT last year suffered. What makes you think this year is going to be any different? NXT Breakout Tournament's coming back because Triple H needs to find people to slide into the main event slot because Cross and Bronson Reed and Tony Storm, Io Shirai, Adam Cole, they're all getting called up. They're all getting called up. They're all done. They're done. They're done. Decent show with NXT. Fairly enjoyable. I expect the Great American Bash to be a banger of a show. But at the end of the fucking day, what the fuck you want me to tell you? What the fuck you want me to tell you? There's really nothing more I can say. Really nothing more I can say. That was NXT. That was NXT. I choked on my own saliva while ranting. And we're live on YouTube. It's the 4th of July weekend. And Taco Bell Pritchard is ruining Raw and SmackDown. I see Hologram being a little smartass in the chat. Who's Keith Lee? Yeah, I don't know either. I don't know, some dude who apparently Vince McMahon thinks is fat. He apparently thinks he's got a gut. Probably thinks he's overweight. That's why they put him in a fucking singlet. How you doing, Dee Dee with Dab Mania again. I mean, am I wrong, Robert? Robert Wells Jr., am I wrong? Taco Bell Pritchard. Taco Bell Chicken Chalupa Pritchard. KFC Chicken Little Pritchard. Although Bruce Pritchard will probably order 25 Chicken Littles to satisfy his hunger. You know? He'll probably order 25 Chicken Littles. No pickles. I heard that Bruce Pritchard's not a fan of pickles. I think we should talk about Dynamite. I think we should talk about it because at least with Dynamite, I'm not ranting too much. At least with Dynamite, I'm not ranting too much. Because I got a rant on fucking Zelina Vega coming up later on. So Eddie Kingston and Penta El Cero Miedo, they took on the Young Bucks. They took on the Young Bucks to kick off AEW Dynamite. AEW Dynamite was a very good show. Very nice show. We had a lot of great material on the show, for sure. We had a World Tag Team Title Eliminator match. And if Penta and Eddie won, they would get the next shot at the tag team titles. Nick and Matt, they came out looking not like themselves. Nick Jackson came out looking like Hulk Hogan. And Matt Jackson came out looking like Freddie Mercury. Which, by the way, both of them, I thought that was fucking great. I thought it was great. So the Bucks isolated Penta. Penta got the tag to Kingston. He lit up both of the Young Bucks. We had an exploder to Matt on the floor. Young Bucks wore down Kingston before Kingston fought back and he tagged in Penta. Penta then lit up the Bucks with a roll-through DDT. Corkscrew, code red. Ref's hand nearly hit the mat. Matt Jackson just kicked out. We had a Hurricane Rana by Nick on Penta. We had a super kick, a German suplex, and a backbreaker, but Matt saved it. Matt with a crossbody to Kingston on the ramp. We had a diving foot stomp and a pile driver. They call it the Fear Factor, but Eddie Kingston saved it. The Good Brothers then distracted the ref. Cutler accidentally sprayed the cold spray into Matt Jackson's eyes, and Kazarian, the Elite Hunter, came out. Penta, then with a Tope Con Hero taking out the Good Brothers and Nick Jackson. We had a package pile driver and a spinning back fist and Penta gets the win for his team. Now, first off, this was a great match. Second best match of the night, I will say. But there's really no reason why the Bucks should have lost. And the only reason why they lost was because they don't really have any tag teams right now that are going to really do the job for the Bucks and get them through the summer. Because based on what's going on right now, it seems as though Santana and Ortiz could be the ones to take the titles off of the Bucks. And then FTR is going to take the titles off Santana and Ortiz when the time is right. But here's what I will say. I'm not going to completely rag on this, mainly because of the fact that this is only the fourth time in 2.5 years of AEW that champions have lost on TV. 4 times in 2.5 years. Jericho lost to Scorpio Sky. We had Shida losing to Penelope Ford when she was the champion. We had Darby Allin being pinned by Brian Cage when he was the TNT champion. And then the Bucks, they were pinned here. So that's only 4 times in 2.5 years. So for anyone that wants to rag on me when I complain when the WWE champions get pinned, they do that shit every fucking week. How many fucking times this year alone has the champions been pinned? Sasha Banks has been pinned about 3 times when she was the SmackDown Women's Champion. So that's 3 times right there. Lashley was pinned by Kingston. Natalya and Tamina were beaten by Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax after they won the championships. Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax, I can't even count how many times they lost when they were champions. We had Apollo Crews pinning Big E when Big E was the Intercontinental Champion. Sheamus lost twice in one night when he was the United States Champion, and he still is the champion. We had Bianca losing to Bayley last week, and then Apollo lost to Big E last week. So, champions, that's at least 10, 12, 13 fucking times in the last 6 months that champions have lost on TV. This is the first time within 9 months that AEW has pinned their champions. Maybe even longer than that. So, I am not going to completely shit on this because once in a while is not going to kill anyone. Once in a blue moon's not going to kill anyone. When you do it every other fucking week, that's a fucking problem. So I'm not completely going to shit on this, but they should have booked their tag team rankings a little bit better. That's the critique I will give them. But other than that, it was a very good match. And next week we got Penta and Eddie taking on the Young Bucks in a street fight for the AEW World Tag Team titles. Tony Schiavone interviewed Ethan Page, All Ego Ethan Page. I'm actually liking the Men of the Year. I wasn't too fond of them at first. It was very, very random, but they're really starting to come into their own. Also, if anyone remembers Little Stevie was on the rundown a couple of times, and I talked with him over AEW Full Gear and NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day. He was on the rundown a couple times. The Men of the Year, I'm telling you, it's like as if me and Little Stevie were a tag team. Stevie legitimately looks like, if you follow Little Stevie, he legitimately looks like a younger version of Scorpio Sky with the clean and crisp beard. So, I don't know why. I just see myself and Little Stevie as the Men of the Year when we're a tag team. I don't know. I just get that vibe from them. But this was a very good promo by Ethan Page. Ethan Page is very, very good. I'm really liking Ethan Page. Page says, "What I've been doing is clearly not enough." Crowd obviously booing the shit out of him. He's getting legitimate heel heat. He says, "My goal is to exterminate Darby Allin. I threw him down the steps. I busted his head. I broke his elbow. He kept on coming back. The coffin match is going to cripple Darby mentally. And after I beat you every time, you're going to do a coffin drop. You'll think of me. And it is going to haunt you and kill your confidence forever. All of a sudden, Sting came out with a coffin. Darby was inside the coffin. He popped out of the fucking coffin. He attacked Ethan Page. Page then took the mic. He said, next week's match is off. And I want you to sign a contract that you can't touch me the week before the match. And then if you behave, maybe we can do this at Fyter Fest. Now, I didn't mind this at all. Because what Ethan Page is doing is he's becoming a better heel right before our eyes just by working with Darby. And this is what I love about AEW. I love the fact that they take guys who are already established. Darby Allin is pretty much already established. He was built up from scratch. He became TNT champion, and everyone loves Darby Allin. He's just a pure babyface. Now, Darby Allin is in a position where he's going to help others get over. Darby Allin is now working with Ethan Page, and Ethan Page is becoming a better heel right before our very eyes just by simply working with Darby. And I don't mind the match getting pushed back because now, this is only going to make Ethan Page a bigger dick, and it's going to make the crowd want to see Darby kick his ass even more. That's what I like about this. This was very nice. I have no problem with the match being pushed back. We had Jungle Boy versus Jack Evans. And Jungle Boy, man, Jungle Boy's on fire. Jungle Boy got the win here with the snare trap. This was his 50th win in all of AEW. The first man to do that. And on top of that, he's dating fucking Anna Jay. Looks like they recruited Jungle Boy to the Dark Order. Anna Jay. Man, I'll tell you, let me tell you something. Jungle Boy is one lucky motherfucker. He really is. Good for you. Good for him. So Jungle Boy gets the win. Afterwards, the Hardy Family Office and Jurassic Express came out to brawl. Christian Cage then came out and he choked out Hardy with his jacket and he stood tall. So I'm guessing that we are going to see Matt Hardy versus Christian Cage. That's going to be at Fyter Fest. What's his finishing move? His finishing move is the snare trap. Peanuts. His finishing move is the snare trap. It's a submission hold. Road Rager got bigger because not only do we have a tag team title street fight, we also have the debut of Andrade El Idolo taking on Matt Sydal, which is going to be a great fucking match. I cannot wait to see that match. Tony Schiavone interviewed Kenny Omega. Kenny Omega goes, I woke up feeling like a king. He looks like Lemmy from Motorhead. He's like, with no one else in the rankings that I've beaten, I'm going to be taking a little break. The Dark Order then came out. And the Dark Order, he goes, or Evil Uno goes, did I hear you say you have no challengers? Evil Uno thinks differently. So Kenny Omega mocked Evil Uno for saying, what are you going to do? You're going to send 5 after me? Evil Uno says, I know that we don't have enough singles wins to contest with you, but I do know who does. We know a little someone, and that someone is the number 1 ranked singles competitor in AEW. So crowd starting chanting, Hangman Adam Page. He started chanting Hangman. Omega goes, if we are talking about the same person I think we are talking about, I don't think he would appreciate you speaking on behalf of him. Matter of fact, I don't think he has the guts at all to come out here, face me like a man, or call himself a champion. Now, if you don't got a trick up your sleeve, I must bid you adieu, goodbye, mwah, and good night, bang. So obviously they are setting up Hangman Adam Page versus Kenny Omega. The crowd loved it. The crowd was eating it up. And I cannot wait to see the build towards that match at All Out. It's going to be fucking great. Brian Pillman Jr. versus Miro. This was for the TNT Championship. Miro was tossing around Pillman. Pillman came back with a rope stunner. Pillman with a wrecking ball drop kick and a springboard clothesline, only for a 1 count. Pillman with 2 super kicks. He was hyping himself up. Miro caught the 3rd super kick, hit a roundhouse kick, a jumping super kick, and then he locked in the game over. Pillman passed out. Decent showcase for Pillman, but Miro, he is an absolute fucking beast. And Miro, I am loving what they're doing with Miro as the TNT champion. Miro is absolutely fucking awesome at what he does. He's great. We got Team Taz. Team Taz, they were interviewed. Taz announced that at Fyter Fest, night 1, Brian Cage will defend the FTW World Championship against a medically cleared Ricky Starks. And I think that Ricky Starks is definitely going to win the FTW World Championship. Should be pretty damn good. Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero versus Britt Baker and Rebel. This wasn't as bad as I expected, but in no way, shape, or form was this television worthy. This was a complete waste of time in the end. No reason why this match should have taken place. And you could have easily built towards Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose without this tag team match. I got no problem with Britt Baker versus Nyla Rose, but this match was a complete waste of fucking time. You could have taken this match off the show, and you could have just done a segment where Nyla Rose just powerbombed Britt through a table. You could have easily just done that and just taken this match off the show. This match was a complete waste of time. Waste of time. Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero lose. Britt Baker locked in the lockjaw on Vicky, and Vicky tapped out. Nyla then attacked Britt Baker and hit a beast bomb through a table. And that was pretty much that. Like I said, we got a loaded card for AEW Road Rager. We got Matt Sydal versus Andrade El Idolo. Kingston and Penta taking on the Young Bucks. AEW World Tag Team titles. Street Fight next week. We got Cody and QT Marshall in a strap match. We got the Jericho and MJF face-off. We got Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander versus The Blade and the Bunny. And we also got the Inner Circle versus the Pinnacle next week. Jake Hager and Santana and Ortiz versus FTR and Wardlow in a 6-man tag. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara versus MJF. This match was fucking fantastic. This match was fucking fantastic. This match was absolutely one of the best matches of AEW's 2021 year thus far, and this was absolutely Sammy Guevara's best match in AEW to date. And that just goes to show you how good MJF really is. This match nearly went 20 minutes. This was a pay-per-view worthy match if I've ever seen one. Matter of fact, these two fought as if they were on a pay-per-view in front of a sellout crowd fighting for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. If you did not see this match, I would highly encourage you to go out of your way to watch this match. It was fantastic. Fantastic shit. And Sammy Guevara, I'm telling you right now, Sammy Guevara, I hope to God that they push Sammy Guevara potentially to the TNT Championship. Sammy Guevara winning the TNT Championship, that would be an excellent move. So Sammy Guevara and MJF, they had some beautiful back and forth counters. We had a nice springboard cutter by Sammy Guevara on MJF for a close 2. MJF took over. He caught Sammy with a powerbomb in midair. Sammy with a Spanish Godfly off the middle rope and a Fosbury flop to the floor on MJF. He had a springboard Canadian Destroyer, which looked fucking crazy. That got a close 2 count. MJF went for a chair. Sammy drop kicked the chair into MJF's face. He went over the barricade. Sammy, like the fucking maniac that he is, he did a springboard senton over the crowd, over the barricade onto MJF. Guevara sending MJF into this melee of superstars. Fucking crazy. He then sent them back into the ring. Guevara, he then went up to the top. MJF stopped him. MJF with a tombstone pile driver. A tombstone pile driver from the middle rope. Fucking crazy. Guevara kicked out. Back and forth roll-ups. Guevara then with the go to hospital, but MJF got his foot on the ropes. Guevara, he then went for the 630. MJF was like, no, don't do it. He did it anyway, because of course he was going to do it. 630 senton, MJF kicked out, crowd's going fucking crazy. Spears and Wardlow came out. Wardlow attacked Jericho. Bryce Remsburg was distracted. Spears then hit Sammy with a chair. Ref didn't see it. MJF covered Sammy for the 1, 2, 3. I would have thought that Sammy might have gotten the win here, but I'm not mad that MJF won here because he's MJF. He's MJF. He's fantastic at what he does. People hate him, and he is a great fucking heel. This was a fantastic match. I cannot wait to see what happens going into the future with the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle. I can't wait to see Santana and Ortiz versus FTR. I have a feeling that that's going to take place at Fyter Fest. Really good stuff right here. Fantastic match. Very good show. That was AEW Dynamite. And as JR says, WWE Dynamite. Of course, that JR was going to he was gonna get some heat for that, but at the end of the day, what are you gonna do? But thank you very much for stopping by, everyone. What's going on, Danielle Wolf? What's going on, Hula Grim? What's going on, Danielle? You had to say it, right? You had to say it, right? We're trying not to get copyrighted here, bro. We're trying not to get copyrighted here. I don't want JD to come in here and he's going to be all pissed. He's like, why are the people in your chat saying the shit that I say on my show? Take it easy. Take it easy, bro. Take it easy. Dylan Summers, please hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Hit the like button, baby. And Danielle Wolf, hit that like button if you haven't already done so. Hit that like button. We're going to review NXT UK, and then we're going to review SmackDown. Trust me, I got shit to say about Zelina Vega and what's going on with her. But thank you very much, everyone. We got 19 likes so far. Let's see if we can get over 20. Hit the like button if you haven't already done so. We got 19 likes so far. We got 8 people watching. We got 2 more reviews to go over, and then we're going to get on out of here. So, let's talk about NXT UK. NXT UK wasn't a bad show. But, I'm not really sure if NXT UK is really working out because NXT UK, they really need the fans back and they really need to get back to doing takeovers and shit. It's really not working. So Isla Dawn, she took on Amelia McKenzie. Decent little match right here. Dawn apparently is channeling her inner Wiccan. She's doing voodoo shit as well. It's not as bad as Alexa Bliss, but it's still stupid voodoo shit. Dawn was on the offense early. McKenzie came back with an enziguri, jumping cutter for a 2. Dawn with a backdrop driver for 2. Spear by McKenzie for a 2. Dawn started becoming possessed before McKenzie took over. We had a big German suplex and a double knee shining wizard for the win. Amelia McKenzie gets the win over Isla Dawn. Hopefully we see Amelia McKenzie in something a little bit more important later on. Jack Stars, or as I like to call him, Jobber Stars, because he's a fucking jobber, I'm sorry. Jack Stars, he took on Tyler Bate. This is for the NXT UK Heritage Cup Championship. Very, very standard match right here. Nothing that I would go back and watch. Very technical, no falls to start off the first round. Bate got a roll up in the second round to score the first fall. Stars rallied in the third round. He had an airplane spin and an uppercut for a 2. Stars rolled up Bate in the third round for the second fall. And in the fourth round, Tyler Bate won with the Tyler driver. Very standard match. Stars didn't really do much. At the end of the day, Stars is a fucking jobber. Afterwards, Mark Coffey came out, and he gave Bate a little playful jab in the face. And then he ran away, so it looks like we could be getting Coffey versus Bate. I wouldn't mind seeing that. Meiko Satomura came out. She addressed her NXT UK Women's title win. She said she finally beat Kaylee Ray. And now I am the NXT UK Women's Champion. NXT UK is now my home. All of a sudden, Nina Samuels came out. And she said, I'm here to congratulate you. You showed why NXT UK is the place to be. It's no secret that NXT UK needs more Nina. But Meiko needs more Nina. And you need a true megastar like me as your first challenger. All of a sudden, Amel, the French Hope, she attacked Nina Samuels. And she said, I'm sick of seeing the same girls every week. I'm here to take the opportunities. I don't care if you're the final boss. I'm not here to play games. Meiko then punched Amel, and then she said, enough talking, you got your match. So it looks like we could be getting Meiko Satomura versus Amel as the first match of Meiko Satomura's NXT UK Women's title reign. Blair Davenport. She has arrived in NXT UK. She is Bea Priestley. Bea Priestley is indeed signed to NXT UK, and she is a part of the NXT UK brand as Blair Davenport. So I am not opposed to that because she's a part of NXT UK. It's a great women's division there. I think she's going to do just fine in NXT UK. And ultimately, I think this is going to be a damn good signing for NXT UK to really help the brand. And I think that Blair, it's not going to be a needle mover, but Blair Davenport is definitely going to be someone to look out for. She could very well be Meiko's heir. Who knows? Mila Schmidt, she took on Eva Valkyrie. Valkyrie coming back after a defeat to Meiko Satomura, and Mila Schmidt won with the diving axe kick. Ginny walked out and she watched. We also got Eddie Dennis versus Trent Seven next week. Excuse me, a little tired. And we got Nathan Fraser versus Kenny Williams next week as well. Jordan Devlin versus A-Kid was the main event. This was a very good match here. Both men worked very, very well together here. Devlin was in control early. A-Kid got caught with a slingshot cutter. A-Kid came back with a dropkick and a fisherman buster for a 2. Northern Light suplex and a moonsault, but Devlin got the knees up. Devlin got locked in the triangle, but he was able to get to the ropes. We had a beautiful Spanish fly by Jordan Devlin. A-Kid then locked in the armbar. Devlin got his foot on the ropes. Devlin with a headbutt. A-Kid with a tope suicida. Devlin kicked the steps into A-Kid, and then he did a shin breaker on the steps. A-Kid then, he got locked in the cloverleaf, but he reversed it into a modified armbar, but he couldn't use the injured knee to wrench the arm back. Devlin then wrenched back the leg, and I mean really wrenched back the leg. Like it was legitimately, this was A-Kid's leg. He wrenched it back all the way to the floor. You gotta go out and watch it. It looked fucking brutal. It was fucking nasty. I would not want to be on the receiving end of that. Jordan Devlin defeats A-Kid, and I have a feeling that we could be looking at Jordan Devlin versus Ilya Dragunov down the line, and Ilya Dragunov, he's going to end up taking the title from Walter, and we're going to get Ilya Dragunov versus Jordan Devlin, where Jordan Devlin eventually takes the title off of Ilya Dragunov. That's what I see happening. That's just what I see happening. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But decent episode. Really nothing that you need to go out of your way to watch. Really nothing all that crazy for NXT UK. And that was pretty much that. We got one more show to go over. One more show to go over. So, we got Danielle Wolf in the chat. We got Danielle XOXO. Dylan Summers is in the chat. David Maniscalco. How you doing? How you doing? We got one more show to go over, and then we're going to get out of here. And trust me, I got a lot of shit to say about Miss Zelina Vega. So, SmackDown was pretty much a 2-highlight show. SmackDown was pretty much a 2-highlight show. Outside of Edge and the Last Man Standing match, this show sucked. This show sucked. Edge kicked off the show. He said, I knew winning the world title 10 years to the day after being forced to retire would be great. I watched that match back. I could complain more about the match and Bryan's involvement. How he cost me, and it did. Standard promo by Edge. It should be a damn good match between Edge and Daniel Bryan for the Universal Championship. Trust me, I got a lot to say about Zelina Vega. I will be right back. Duty calls. everyone's having a field day. I can see everyone's having a field day. Everyone's having a fucking field day. Look at what we got over here. Look at what we got over here. We got Hologram's fucking dying. We got Danielle. All paperwork takes a bit. Unbelievable. Danielle Wolf, she can't stop laughing. Oh my God. Be quiet, Brad. There you go. That's a moment in LFU history right there. It's a moment in LFU history right there. I'm not above nature taking its course, all right? Just pointing it out there. I'm not above anything. I'm not above nature taking its course. I may be above a lot of idiots in the wrestling community, but when duty calls, duty calls. Chillax. Trust me, I got plenty more. I got plenty more set for you. We got plenty more set here for SmackDown. So Edge, obviously, with his promo, talking about how there's obstacles. Let's get back to the SmackDown review. We're talking about Edge and the obstacles that he had. Talking about how he wouldn't be standing here if he didn't knock down obstacles. Shut up, hologram. Talking about how last week when Roman heard his music, he knew deep down that no matter what it says on paper, I'm the guy that has your number. I'm going to beat you when it's just a matter of time when and I become Universal Champion. So Edge cuts a good promo. Cuts a decent promo. He was probably the second best thing about the show, if I'm going to be quite honest with you. So, after that, Jimmy Uso was talking to Paul Heyman. Roman was not on the show, which is not a bad thing at all. Roman was on the show. I got one last show to review, and then we're gonna get out of here. Be quiet. Wait a minute. Hold on. Dylan Summers. Did anyone see what Dylan Summers did? I think everyone sees. Dylan Summer goes, I was just dropping a Zelina Vega. There you go. Because Zelina Vega's a steaming pile of shit. Well, I wasn't just dropping a Zelina Vega. I was dropping a Monday Night Raw. Because whatever I just produced in there is much more interesting than what's ever going on Monday. Just pointing it out there. Anyway, there you go. That's a laugh. That's what I do. I entertain people. I don't even have to try to entertain people. I don't even have to try. Anyway. So Jimmy Uso was talking to Paul Heyman. And it looks like Jimmy Uso, he was going to call out Edge later on, and that's exactly what he did. So, from there, we go into Rick Boogs, B-O-O-G-S, Rick Boogs, and he played in Shinsuke Nakamura on the guitar. He did his normal shtick. He did his normal Shinsuke or Kingsuke Nakamura. He did the whole heavy metal voice thing. Now, this was one of my favorite parts of the show. Pat McAfee, he sat on Michael Cole's back. And he was riding him as if he was a horse, like Giddy Up Cowboy. And he was doing Nakamura's hand gestures while he was riding on Michael Cole's back. Pat McAfee is fucking fantastic. I would fucking love to see Pat McAfee, Mauro Ranallo, and Nigel McGuinness as a commentary team. That would be hilarious. So we got Big E and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin. Oh, wow. 2 rematches combined to make a tag team match. Good job right there. I thought Nakamura was done with Corbin. So, Corbin was told by Rick Boogs that his truck was being towed. And then they put the truck up on the screen, and Baron Corbin's truck was being towed. Big E then hit the big ending, and Big E got the win over Baron Corbin, soon to be Happy Corbin. I don't give a shit. This was a complete waste of time. And this Happy Corbin shit, it ain't gonna fucking work. It ain't gonna fucking work. This Happy Corbin gimmick is going to be the worst thing about WWE. And I say that as if WWE as a whole isn't already in its darkest days that it's ever been. But Baron Corbin, if it's not the Lone Wolf, then there's nothing that Baron Corbin's going to do that's going to generate interest. I'm sorry. The Lone Wolf is the only character that Baron Corbin should be playing. Other than that, everything else is going to be a failure. Sorry. Bayley then came out. She said, not to tell you I told you so, but, oh, I told you so. I told you that Bianca's victory at Hell in a Cell was a fluke. I proved it when I pinned her last week. The look in her eyes was great. She was questioning everything she did wrong. Mentally, she is weak. She's crumbling at the weight of your expectations, and Bianca ain't nothing to Bayley. Bianca then came out, and in this promo, we saw just a little bit of the EST. She goes, girl, what you need is a good crack in that mouth. I keep beating you, rather. I can't even fucking read my own handwriting. I keep beating you, but you keep coming back. No matter what I do, you keep coming up with excuses. That's where I need to embarrass you to the point of no return. So if officials will allow it at Money in the Bank, I'll put my title on the line in an I Quit match. So Bayley went on and on about how she's not the champion, she's portraying herself to be. And she goes, you have no chance, I accept. Bianca then laughed, and then she said, she's so excited to hear you say, I quit. So, we saw just a little bit of the EST in this promo, but at the end of the fucking day, I don't care. I don't care. No one else cares. This is a huge problem in the women's division. These two have been feuding for 3 fucking months, and we haven't gotten a single legitimate reason as to why Bayley even got a title opportunity to begin with at WrestleMania Backlash. The 2 matches that they've had have been great. Don't get me wrong, the matches that they had have been great, but at the end of the fucking day, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that the feud's been good. The feud sucked. The feud has sucked. And it really does pain me to see this. It legitimately pains me to see that 2 women who are 2 of the best women's wrestlers in the world, any fucking promotion would be lucky to have them on their fucking roster, and they're in a position where they're being fucking ruined by main roster creative. This should have ended at Hell in a Cell. Now what happens? I don't fucking know. You're going to end it in an I Quit match. Great. Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens. This was a last man standing match, and the winner would go to Money in the Bank. This was excellent. This was fucking excellent. This was absolutely excellent, and I have no problem with what happened here. This was perfectly booked. Kevin Owens advances to Money in the Bank, dispatches of Sami Zayn. This was great, and hey, I really got nothing else to say. I will say this. A lot of people are asking, what do I rate this among their best matches ever? Well, as far as their best matches in WWE goes, I would not put them in this category of, oh yeah, this was their best match ever in WWE. No. That was either their first match or the match at Battleground. But I will say this. This was absolutely their best match in this entire feud that they've had. In this recent program, out of the 3 series of matches that they've had, Hell in a Cell, WrestleMania, and this match was the best one. This match was excellent. So Owens went right after Sammy. They brawled into the Thunderdome. Owens with a senton off the barricade. Sammy then sent Owens into the barricade onto the table. Table did not break. Coming back from commercial, Kevin brought out 2 tables and stacked them. Sammy ended up being superplexed. Or he evaded being superplexed through the tables. He then hit a big tope con hero, and then an exploder suplex into the corner. Back and forth we go, and then Sammy shoved Kevin Owens off the top rope. He crashed through the tables. Owens still got back to his feet. Coming back from a second commercial, Sammy brought out more tables. He hit a nice half and half suplex on the apron to Owens. Sammy with 2 haluva kicks and a third one. Sammy was trash talking Kevin Owens, and then Owens was able to roll out off the ring apron onto his feet. We had a super kick by Owens, a pop-up powerbomb. Sammy still got up. Owens then with a stunner, and I fucking loved this ending right here. This ending was great. What he did 3 power bombs, each with different impacts. He did a power bomb through the announce table, a power bomb through a regular table, and then a power bomb on the apron. Sammy did not get up. Referee counted to 10, and Kevin Owens wins an excellent last man standing match. Kevin Owens gets to Money in the Bank. Sonya Deville. She announced the next competitor in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and my oh my, am I going to rant about this. Zelina Vega is the second woman in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Liv Morgan then came out. She said the same thing as she did last week. We get a match. Liv Morgan rolled up Vega for the win in 2 minutes. 2 minutes. So first off, let's talk about Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega and Andrade, they were a must-see act in NXT. They get called up, and they weren't even allowed to do 10% of what they did in NXT. They shafted him at every single twist and turn. Andrade, he's lucky that he got 1 reign as United States Champion. Then, Zelina Vega's broken away from Andrade. She's made into a singles competitor. And she sunk faster than a fucking 50-pound rock being thrown into a river. She sunk right to the bottom of the barrel as soon as Andrade and her broke up. Andrade didn't favor any better. He was released as well. He was released after Vega, but he was still released. Zelina Vega went nowhere as a singles competitor. Then comes the WWE ban on third-party platforms. WWE threw down the hammer and banned all individuals with third-party platforms, and they banned third-party platform partnerships, and they didn't even allow superstars to use their real names. They just threw the hammer down, whether you're going by your stage name or your regular name. Zelina Vega obviously saw this as bullshit, which it was. She stood up to Vince McMahon for this bullshit rule, which I commended her for, and a lot of people commended her for. She continued her Twitch streaming. She then opened up an OnlyFans for her cosplay modeling gig, and she was made an example out of. She was released. She was released for speaking up against the rule that was clearly bullshit, and then her husband, Aleister Black, he was off television for 7 months. He then got all of these great vignettes, and I thought that everyone thought that they were actually going to give Aleister Black a proper opportunity. They had these dark vignettes. Everything seemed to be falling into place. He then made his return and cost Big E the Intercontinental title. And then a week later, he's let go. She supported unionizing pro wrestling, especially after what happened with the third-party platform shit. Her husband got released. She was treated like shit. And after all of that, she decides to go back? After all of that, she decides to go back to the company that mistreated her. Now, I don't know what's going on with her financially. I don't know what the financial stability of Zelina Vega really is, but you can't fucking tell me, and Zelina Vega can't tell me, that she wouldn't have made a nice, hefty paycheck while doing what she would have been doing with Andrade in AEW, just like they did in WWE. You can't tell me that she wouldn't have made a nice, healthy paycheck if she did that. If she wanted to wrestle, she could have gone to Impact, she could have gone to MLW, she could have gone to AEW, she could have gone anywhere. She could have gone fucking anywhere, but she decides to go back with the company. She decides to go back with the company that spit in her face, made an example out of her, and fired her husband for no fucking reason whatsoever. She gets awarded a spot in Money in the Bank for doing nothing. All she did was fucking show up, and now she's back in Money in the Bank, which presents an even bigger problem. The SmackDown Women's Division is as depleted as you can get, and Zelina Vega ain't helping, and then she gets rolled up by Liv Morgan and loses to Liv Morgan in 2 minutes. I don't feel sorry for her, and I don't have 1 ounce of fucking respect for her after all of that bullshit, after everything that she did, after everything that she said, supporting unionization, standing her ground, watching her husband get mistreated by the company and unceremoniously fired for no fucking reason, and then she decides to go back? She decides to go back to the WWE? And here's the fucking crazy part about it. Here's the fucking crazy part about it. You want to know what the cherry on top of the cake is? The cherry on top of the cake is that based on what's going on right here and based on how she's been acting, she looks like she doesn't even know what the main reason why she was hired back is. Why do you think WWE went back to hire you? They don't give a shit about Zelina Vega. They don't give a shit about anybody. They use you when they deem fit. They use you when they deem you worthy of being used, and then when they don't want to use you anymore, they just let you go. They just let you fucking go. Zelina Vega, I guarantee you, she doesn't even fucking know the real reason why they hired her back. Do you remember at the beginning of May, a couple of weeks before Fightful came out with the report that Zelina Vega was going to be a part of the WWE again? A couple of weeks before Fightful came out with that report, Zelina Vega, she was nowhere to be found. Everything was silent on Zelina Vega. Andrade, he came out in a video challenging Kenny Omega for the AAA Mega Championship this month. That opened the door for Tony Khan to talk to Andrade and get him to AEW. Tony Khan expressed great interest that he wants Thea Trinidad, and possibly he would have reunited that pairing with Andrade and Zelina Vega. WWE merely hired Zelina Vega back. They merely hired Zelina Vega back because they wanted to keep her away from Andrade and AEW, because they knew that if Tony Khan got his hands on Zelina Vega, that he would have easily done the partnership with Andrade and Zelina Vega better than WWE main roster creative ever could. And he would have made Vince McMahon look like a complete fucking idiot for letting Andrade and Vega go. Now Zelina Vega's back in a wrestling role, which she's not even good at. She's the Spanish Alexa Bliss. She's not a good wrestler whatsoever. She's very, 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 very slow in the ring. Her moves aren't all that special, and she's not going to wow anyone as a professional wrestler. She's not. She's not. She exceeds in a managerial role. If she wants to wrestle, I'm sorry, someone's got to tell you face to face, honey, that you're a shit pro wrestler. Where you excel is as a manager. Now you want to know, everyone wants to know why Aleister Black was so passive during his Twitch stream and him talking about the WWE. You want to know why Aleister Black was so passive? There you go. There you go. Aleister Black was so passive during his Twitch stream because he knew that Zelina Vega was on her way back to the WWE. And he didn't want Zelina Vega to be mistreated, because he knows that, just like what happened with Miro, Lana was mistreated after Miro left. Not that Lana really matters or anything, but Lana was put through a table for 9 straight weeks after Miro trashed AEW, or trashed WWE rather. He went on AEW and trashed WWE. Need I say more? Need I say more? Need I say more? Zelina Vega, after all of that, and to think that she would be this fucking dumb. You know, I use the word bimbo a lot in a joking fashion, but Zelina Vega may very well be a legitimate bimbo. She may very well be a fucking retard. Are they going to push Zelina Vega? No. Are they going to book Zelina Vega in a meaningful way? No. What's going to happen after Money in the Bank? She's merely there. She's merely there because they have no one else on SmackDown. Outside of Bianca and Bayley, they got no one else. It's going to be Carmella, Zelina Vega, Liv Morgan, and Sasha Banks. Natalya and Tamina, they're the champions. There's going to be no one else. Zelina Vega looks like the biggest fucking hypocrite. She looks like the biggest fucking hypocrite in the entire wrestling industry. She is the biggest fucking hypocrite of the modern era. Everything that this company did to her, and she goes back to the company after supporting unionization, after standing up for the bullshit rule that WWE enacted, and everything that happened. She just, there you go, come right back. And WWE just welcomed her back. Why? Because they want to keep her away from Andrade and AEW. They're not going to use her. They're not going to push her in a meaningful role. And if they do, it would only be because Aleister Black shows up in AEW. So they'll probably push Zelina Vega to the Women's Championship just to outdo what AEW is doing with Aleister Black. I have no respect for Zelina Vega whatsoever. I have no remorse for Zelina Vega losing this match. She's terrible. She's a terrible performer. She exceeds as a manager. She is not going anywhere in this role. 2 minutes and she loses to Liv Morgan. Great. Cesaro versus Seth Rollins next week in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. And we get Nakamura and Corbin in a Money in the Bank qualifying match. 2 more rematches. Great! Otis defeated Apollo Crews with a middle rope splash and a Vader bomb. Let me just say this about the Alpha Academy. I'm really loving the Alpha Academy. The Alpha Academy, I tweeted this out. The Alpha Academy, they remind me of Jesse and Festus if they were more serious and better. I don't know why. The Alpha Academy just remind me of a better version of Jesse and Festus. I don't know. So Jimmy Uso, he came out. He said, there ain't no Roman Reigns here tonight, and I can handle you all by myself. Edge came out after Jimmy Uso trash talk. He said, Roman is using you just like he used your entire family. What happened to no one's bitch? Now you're just another one of Roman's bitches. This ain't a trap for me. This is a trap for you. Edge then went after Jimmy. He grabbed the steel steps. Uso then dropped Edge with some super kicks. Jimmy went after Edge. Edge fought back. Locked in the sleeper. Crossface. And then he hit the spear. And then he took a metal chair piece and locked in the crossface with the metal chair piece. And Edge stood tall. Edge stood tall. That was pretty much it. And that was SmackDown for you. Outside of Edge and the Last Man Standing match, the show sucked. Zelina Vega, a complete fucking hypocrite. I do not have any respect for Zelina Vega, and I don't think anyone else, at least with the intelligence of me, has respect for Zelina Vega either. Ladies and gents, we've come to the end. We've come to the end, and we got Money in the Bank playing in the background. It is done. We are going to get out of here. Thank you very much for stopping by. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. Thank you very much. I'm pretty much like the IWC version of Howard Stern. Thank you, Danielle. Thank you, Dee Dee. Thank you, Cool King. Thank you, Dylan Summers. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, David Maniscalco. Thank you, Rob Wells Jr. Thank you, Adam Carl. Thank you, Earl Cole. Thank you, Hula Grim, for stopping by. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you. You guys are fucking awesome. You guys are fucking awesome. You're sad. Hold on a second. Why is Hula Grim sad? Before we get out of here, why is Hula Grim sad over here? Thanks for the mod wrench. What are you sad about? Thank you, Proud Mixed Child. You stay safe and blessed also. Dylan Summers. Later. Peace. Don't do what again? Don't do what? Thanks for the wrench. Wrench is all around, people. Wrench is all around. But thank you very much for stopping by. I greatly appreciate y'all. Peace out. Don't worry, Grim. We'll be coming back next Saturday right here on YouTube.com. This has been the Lightning Flash Update. You guys have an awesome 4th of July weekend. Drink lots of cold beverages and eat lots of meat. Peace.